The deadliest viruses ever discovered. Some viruses can spread through the air, others hide inside animals before jumping to humans, and some can attack the brain, destroy the immune system, or kill after symptoms appear. But which viruses are actually the deadliest? The answer isn't as simple as choosing the one with the highest death rate, because a virus can be deadly in two very different ways. It can kill a huge percentage of the people it infects, or it can spread so widely that it causes millions of deaths. Today, we're looking at some of the deadliest viruses ever discovered, and number 1 might surprise you. 8. Nipah virus. Nipah virus is one of the world's most dangerous emerging viruses. Its natural hosts are fruit bats, and humans can become infected through contact with infected animals, contaminated food, or other infected people. The virus can cause fever, breathing problems, vomiting, and inflammation of the brain. In severe cases, patients can develop seizures, confusion, coma, and respiratory failure. The reported fatality rate has varied between outbreaks, but the World Health Organization estimates it can reach 40% to 75%. There is currently no widely available licensed vaccine or specific treatment for Nipah, and that's what makes it so concerning. A virus doesn't have to be widespread to be dangerous. Sometimes its danger comes from what happens when it successfully jumps into humans. 7. Marburg virus. Marburg virus belongs to the same family as Ebola. It can cause Marburg virus disease, a severe illness that may begin with fever, headache, muscle pain, vomiting, and diarrhea. In severe cases, the disease can progress to shock, organ failure, and bleeding. Fatality rates have varied dramatically between outbreaks, but some have been extremely high. Marburg is especially concerning because there is no universally available treatment that simply eliminates the infection. Instead, patients require intensive supportive medical care. The virus is rare, but when an outbreak occurs, health authorities move quickly to isolate cases and trace contacts. 6. Ebola. Few viruses have become as synonymous with deadly. Medical care has improved, and vaccines and treatments are available for certain Ebola virus species. The largest Ebola outbreak occurred in West Africa between 2014 and 2016. It caused more than 11,000 deaths. Ebola showed the world how quickly a dangerous virus can overwhelm communities when healthcare systems are already under enormous pressure. 5. Rabies. Now we get to one of the most frightening viruses on this list, rabies. The virus is usually transmitted through the saliva of an infected animal, most commonly through a bite. Once rabies reaches the nervous system and clinical symptoms appear, the disease is almost invariably fatal. The virus attacks the brain and nervous system, causing symptoms such as confusion, hallucinations, difficulty swallowing, paralysis, and eventually coma. But here's the incredible part. Rabies is largely preventable. If someone receives proper medical treatment quickly after exposure, the infection can often be stopped before symptoms develop. So rabies isn't necessarily one of the viruses that kills the most people, but once clinical disease begins, it is among the deadliest infections known. 4. Influenza. Influenza might sound strange on a list of deadly viruses. Millions of people get the flu every year and recover. But history has shown how dangerous influenza can become when a new strain spreads through a population with little immunity. The most famous example is the 1918 influenza pandemic. It infected hundreds of millions of people worldwide and caused an enormous number of deaths. Estimates vary, but researchers commonly place the death toll in the tens of millions. That's what makes influenza so dangerous. It doesn't need an extremely high fatality rate. If a virus spreads efficiently enough, even a relatively small percentage of severe cases can result in millions of deaths. 3. SARS-CoV-2. In 2019, a previously unknown coronavirus emerged. Its name was SARS-CoV-2. Within months, it had spread around the world. COVID-19 ranged from mild illness to severe pneumonia, respiratory failure, and death. Millions of deaths were officially reported worldwide, while estimates of the pandemic's total impact have been even higher. But SARS-CoV-2 demonstrated something important about viruses. A virus doesn't need to kill most infected people to become devastating. If it spreads extremely efficiently, the total number of infections can become enormous. COVID-19 transformed travel, education, healthcare, economies, and everyday life across the planet. Few viruses in modern history have changed human society so quickly. 2. HIV. HIV is very different from viruses like Ebola. It doesn't normally kill rapidly. Instead, Untreated HIV gradually attacks the immune system. Eventually, the body's defenses can become so weak that normally manageable infections and cancers become life-threatening. Since the beginning of the HIV epidemic, tens of millions of people have died from HIV-related causes. But there is an important reason HIV is no longer the same threat it was decades ago. Modern antiretroviral treatment can suppress the virus to extremely low levels. People receiving effective treatment can live long lives, and when the virus is successfully suppressed, HIV is not sexually transmitted. So HIV remains a major global health problem, but medicine has completely changed its outlook. 1. Smallpox. And finally, one of the deadliest viruses humanity has ever faced, smallpox. For thousands of years, smallpox spread from person to person, causing fever, severe illness, and characteristic fluid-filled lesions across the body. It killed enormous numbers of people throughout history. In the 20th century alone, smallpox is estimated to have caused hundreds of millions of deaths. But unlike many viruses on this list, humanity eventually defeated it. Through widespread vaccination and an enormous international eradication campaign, naturally occurring smallpox was eliminated. In 1980, the World Health Organization officially declared the disease eradicated. Think about that. One of history's deadliest viruses is no longer naturally circulating anywhere on Earth. It's one of humanity's greatest victories over disease. The real deadliest virus. So which virus is actually number one? That depends on how you measure deadliest. Rabies has an extraordinarily high fatality rate once symptoms appear. Ebola and Marburg can cause catastrophic disease. Influenza and COVID-19 can spread to enormous numbers of people. HIV has caused tens of millions of deaths, and smallpox killed hundreds of millions before humanity eradicated it. The lesson is simple. The deadliest virus isn't always the one with the highest death rate. Sometimes, the most dangerous combination is a virus that is both highly transmissible and capable of causing severe disease. And the next virus capable of causing a global crisis may not even have been discovered yet. Viruses are microscopic. You can't see them coming. But throughout human history, they've changed the course of civilizations. And sometimes, something thousands of times smaller than a human hair can become one of the most dangerous things on Earth. Subscribe for more stories about the deadliest things our planet has ever produced.